Oh, there it is. 1-800-449-8255. Sacramento, Sally, go ahead, please. You're on the Savage Nation.
Yeah, Michael, maybe you can help me understand the 26-year-old thing, because isn't it the parents already that they're paying for health insurance that the 26-year-olds are going to stay on?
I'm not following what you're asking me. I know you're trying to make the point that it's good for a child to be home until 26 and covered by their parents' policy. Is that what you're saying?
No, I had a child that, as soon as they turn 18, they have no health insurance.
Yes, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo,
they're supposed to go out and get a job. Boo-hoo.
18 that's going to give you health care.
Boo-hoo, health care. What, is everybody so sick? Health care.
Most people that age, between 18 and 26, don't have health care because they usually don't need it. But
but now they have it, and so they're going to need it all of a sudden because it now covers mental stress. So that your precious child doesn't feel good, can go get covered by government care. They can go talk to a shrink. And I'm supposed to pay for that?
Under 26 and still on.
I'm supposed to. You want me to shell out more money so your child can go and talk about how bad he feels in a therapy session?
For his own for a lot of years, so I was curious because I didn't quite understand.
All right, yeah, you quite understand. I know the lingo. I don't quite understand. So university. That is just so university sensitivity. You do quite understand. How many bad days do I have nobody to talk to? How many bad days do I have because I'm facing a monster out there? The monster of socialism that is engulfing the country with a little help from their friends in the media. How many bad days do I have where I grab my head and I say, oh, Lord, how did it come to this? How did this nation fall to a level where an imposter like Obama could get away with this every day and the people don't get up and laugh at him and laugh him off the stage and demand that he resign? That he has failed, utterly failed, and resign. Get out of there. Put anybody in. Put an adult in. They take a look at the people running the economy. Have you taken a look at them? Have you looked at their faces as they signed that so-called Small Business Act bill? The Jobs bill, whatever they called it? I couldn't believe it. It looked like a bunch of losers at any community college. I've never seen anything like this. And I said, they're the leaders of the free world? These misshapen gammas and deltas? I'd save the world. Not one of them, so far as I know, has ever built a business worth $100,000 a year. They've never provided a service that anybody wants. And they're running America's economy. Everyone's bailing out. The only adult on the team quit last week. The only one I had any faith in left. Now Emmanuel is out. Axelrod is out. They're all jumping ship. Why are they jumping ship? Because they know there's a shipwreck ahead. And they know that Captain Hornblower there, Captain Hornblower's taking the ship right into the rocks, onto the rocks. Captain Hornblower right into the rocks. And they're jumping ship before it smashes up on the rocks in November. They're jumping ship. Do I have anyone to talk to when I have a bad day? Who do I talk to? When I bend over and I hold my head and I say, Lord, why did you put me in this position? How can I go through another day of this, trying to awaken the naive, childlike American people to the danger they are in? I've done it for 16 years. Give me some help, Lord. I don't go to a shrink. I don't need the government to come and help me. I talk to my dog. I look at a seagull. I throw bread to the water. You know about throwing bread on the waters? You know what that's all about? Where does that come from, throwing bread on the water? You're supposed to cast away your sins by throwing bread on the waters. Any stale bread I have, I feed the gulls. I'm trying to show my dog how other animals exist that don't have feet, 4 legs, or fur. Some have wings. Some fly, they have big beaks. And he watches them come swooping in. By the way, they call a seagull, incidentally, a rat of the sky. I don't see them, and I think they're gorgeous. I've watched the seagulls for all these years on the bay. They teach their babies better than the average mother in America that I've seen. I've never seen anything like it. A pelican mother is better than most of the mothers that are on welfare today. I've never seen anything like this. You ever seen a pelican mother sit and watch television all day long? You ever seen a pelican mother sit and wait for a handout from somebody? Have you ever seen a pelican mother let their young die without eating? Have you ever seen a pelican mother break their child's head open on a radiator because it cried? And you never saw any of those things. I get my strength from nature. To me, nature is as close to God as I've ever come. You want me to play UFO tapes? I'll play that if you'd like, if you want to get into that. The wackies in the ex-Air Force. Well, what are they selling, a book? 50 years later, you know what I love? All the brave men in the military, once they get their pensions, they come out and tell us in 1952 they saw UFOs. Why don't you tell it to me when I was 10? You know, why don't you just come out and, okay, here we saw UFOs in 1952. Would have changed my life. What are you waiting now, like 60 years later? Who are these guys from the Air Force with the UFOs? Retired Air Force officers discussing UFO sightings in a press conference at the National Press Club in D.C. on Monday. All retired now, living on big fat pensions. Here, listen to clip 13.
In December 1980, early in the morning, several of our security policemen discovered strange lights in the forest in East Anglia, just outside the back gate of RAF Woodbridge. 3 patrolmen, Sergeant Peniston, Airman Burrows, and Airman Cabana-Sack, actually were dispatched into the forest and approached a craft. They reported it being triangular, approximately 3 meters on a side, dark metallic in appearance with strange markings. They observed it for a period of time, and it very quickly and silently vanished at high speed.
All right, and?
2 nights later at the family Christmas party, we were interrupted. The on-duty flight commander for the security police squadron, Lieutenant Bruce England, came and approached the base commander and I. He was white as a sheet. He said, "It's back." We said, "What's back?" He said, "The UFO." Well, we still were, I should say, non-believers at that point. I was taken to the supposed site. We found indentations approximately 1.5 inches deep, approximately 6 to 8 feet on a side, and radiation of 8 to 9 times normal background radiation. Not enough to be dangerous to somebody, but significant. We also found broken branches on the trees. While we were
listening to Colonel Charles Holt, retired, telling you about UFO sightings in a press conference at the National Press Club in D.C. on Monday. This is what they have time for at the National Press Club. Not about the loss of freedom of speech in America. Not about the fact that one member of America's media has been banned from entering a Western nation, Michael Savage. That didn't happen. That doesn't exist. I was never invited to even give my side of the story, either in Britain or the United States of America. No, instead they're going to talk to some Air Force officer trying to peddle a book. This is unbelievable to me. So we can play more of this. They're extraterrestrials, who knows? Now, it gets best now on clip 27. You got to hear the end of this speech.
Recently, in the last year or two, the Catholic Church has said publicly, you know, hey, it's okay. ETs can exist. They're our brothers, and they are theologically saying it's okay to
Let's hope they don't like little boys.
extraterrestrials.
That's all I can say.
And if the Catholic Church says it, it's got to have a big stick, I would think, as far as the Western world.
Please, this is a family show, mister. Cut it out. That's retired Air Force Colonel Dwayne Arneson. Stop with the big stick, okay? It's a family program. So now because the Catholic Church has said ETs can exist, I'm supposed to say, therefore, it's okay to believe they exist. All I can say is I pray that the ETs, if they do exist, have a better set of morals than 3% of the priests. Let's put it to you that way. What's the point of this? What is the point of this? Why are we listening to this rubbish now? If they're here, they're here. If they're not here, they're not here. I'll be right back.
Savage.
We're saying to young people, reach your aspirations, take your time to do it. You can stay on your parents' policy until you are 26 years old. The list goes on and on.
The list goes on and on. In other words, an entire nation of dependent losers sitting at home, smoking dope, partying until the middle of the night, and every little thing that bothers them, the government will take care of it. No sane nation on earth can survive with this kind of leadership. It's impossible. Crash and burn theory. Jonathan in Wisconsin, you're up. Go ahead, please. Welcome to the Savage Nation.
Thank you. I respect your point that socialism and government taking over is not good, but I'm so sick of Wall Street taking people's 401ks, insurance companies dropping someone that has paid for 30 years on a freaking insurance policy, and when they get sick, they get dropped. What is your answer to that? What's worse, letting the government take over everything, or giving, how much money did Madoff take? $60 billion.
Well, no, who's going to defend Madoff? I'm not the asset seized. So let's go from the last point to the first point. You're saying what's worse, socialism or Wall Street? I think that's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, because how many people are going to see Al Qaeda or socialism that were taken to that Madoff took their money?
Well, let's slow down. Let's stop with Madoff. No one's supporting Madoff. Okay, no one's supporting Madoff. I don't know where you got that from. He's a certifiable villain, and his assets should be seized unto his grandchildren. I don't know why they haven't seized the grandchildren's assets, by the way. And by the way, since you brought up Madoff, do you know that the crooked lawyer who was overseeing the dispersal of Madoff's estate has claimed something like several $1 million a day in fees? Did you know that? And he was appointed by the government?
Okay, well, so we can agree that which one's worse. But my point is...
Well, no. We can't agree that which one's worse, and I'll tell you why. Because despite some of the excesses of Wall Street, you have to understand that without Wall Street, there would be no investment capital for businesses to expand. I don't think you understand how business works.
Very well. Look back to the Great Depression. The same thing happened not long ago.
But Jonathan, you didn't hear me. I, in my new book, Trickle Up Poverty, called for the regulation of Wall Street, going back to common sense regulations that were in place until your friend Bill Clinton took power and destroyed those regulations. You're aware that they were dismissed under Bill Clinton. Are you aware of that?
First of all, I voted for George Bush. It was the Republicans that derailed regulation.
Well, okay, so both of them derailed regulation. Can we agree then that we need regulation of Wall Street, but not the destruction of Wall Street? You're not saying all of Wall Street is corrupt and all of it should be eliminated, I hope.
Can't agree on that. That's why I said we have some common ground. I do not believe that the government should babysit people, put their little Pampers on, and give them pacifiers.
All right, so we agree, but what I'm saying... Wait, hold it. The government creates no jobs other than public service jobs. But the government creates no products. The government creates no capital. Wall Street creates capital or raises capital, which can then be garnered by companies to increase business, to expand factories, and to hire people. So you have to understand the benefits of Wall Street. Right now, the populist call is get Wall Street, hang the bankers. That's absurd. Our entire system is built upon a capitalist system. I'm not ready to throw it overboard and wind up living in Eastern Europe with one salami in the butcher store.
Nor am I, but in an ideal world, that's great. But Wall Street giveth and taketh away. What's the point of Wall Street creating, and then all of a sudden you've got Goldman Sachs betting against stuff that they're pushing off to these unsuspecting purchasers and clients?
Well, all right, we know about these derivatives that were fantasy. We understand that. But let me ask you something. During the run-up in the housing bubble, did you buy and sell any property?
No, I didn't.
Did you have the money to buy as much as a $40,000 condominium in Jacksonville, which you then sold for $52,000 a year later? Because millions and millions of Americans, my friend, got part of the benefits of that bubble. Although they say the fat cats on Wall Street did better, they did, because they're the ones who created it. But make no mistake about it, I remember the heydays of real estate. Every Yenta thought she was Donald Trump's wife. Every Yenta thought she was flipping houses. Don't you remember the shows, Flip This House? Everyone was a decorator. There was no end to the marble and the granite. Everyone was going to put in a new toilet bowl, a new granite. And suddenly they made $12,900, and they thought they were Donald Trump. Then they bought something more. Everybody was benefiting from that bubble. So they all got money out of the deal. Then all of a sudden, when it all went south, they blamed Goldman Sachs. But they cashed it in while they could, didn't they? No, you have to stop the excess, and you have to put brakes on the excess, but you don't destroy the entire